Hi, this is Sheila with Conscious Conversation Central, and today is Sunday, July the 14th, 2019. And yay, back again with my girlfriends, my gal pal posse, Lisa Flamino Rush out in the gazebo, and BZ Rieger. And we said this last time, I just can't get over the difference in the we moved you, and I love that those trees behind you. It just feels so different.
That's one tree, actually. One big leaf maple tree.
Wow. Well, it's gorgeous.
Limbs curling over. The leaves are, that's like
Wow.
one leaf. Oh.
Wow. Well, it's gorgeous. So, and I love your little yellow flowers too. Got to give a shout out to those gorgies there. Well, and so we're going to play a game of sorts, right? And listen to your body and activate your innate knowledge is what we're calling this. Lisa and I, neither one really know what's about to happen. So
That makes three of us.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's right. Is this another one of those deals like with quantum baseball where you just kind of,
okay. I'm still waiting.
Cool.
I'm told not to work.
Hey, look, hopscotch got started that way, I'm sure.
No, I have some sense, but don't have all. One of the things that got me playing my own version of this game, although I'm off the side, is I have something that's going on in my shoulder. And it's kind of started and related to a fall. Okay, one of those flying moves where you're on ice and you go to stop and you don't stop, and so you go up in the air and go, on the ice. And this winter. Anyway, so since then I've done different things, and it's better or gone or more annoying or whatever. And the other day I thought, this is a signal for me. Now it's at the point where it's a signal. It's can you hear me now? Are you paying attention? Where are your thoughts going? What are you getting wound up about? What have you not let go of? And in that moment, I can go from something that is raging in there, inflammation and really painful and angry and annoyed, to, blissful. And then I can notice something else in the thought-wise or emotion-wise or within my body, and I can do it halfway up or back to full. And I was laughing I already know this, and I've had for my whole life had experience of this, but this is one of those times because I was laughing and I said, well, that would be a cool game, wouldn't it? Where if we actually listen to our body and we use it as showing us, as a conversation that's showing us with what's going on. And it doesn't have to just be, because your shoulder hurts, or something. That we can learn to more finely tune our sensing meter to be more multidimensional and just linear in a body. So that was kind of the setup for this. And then I think that came in when I was joking about that with me, maybe about 2 weeks ago or something. And then the other night I was sitting down and doing something totally unrelated and got nudged to pick up a pen and write a few things down. And this is what came out about playing that game. It would be fun to play this game. So it's just a short little way to do it. But that's kind of behind it, because I'll go to the linear side of it for a minute first. In the false construct, when you get older or even get a little years on you, body parts wear out and these things happen. And if you're ever at optimal, that's going away and you just have to get used to it. That's what everybody's told. And hey, we got, this pill or this thing or that operation, and we'll fix you right up. We'll put some plastic thing or metal thing or, in you. And so that's the linear part. And so people, ascribe to that. Well, it's cold season. Well, of course I'm going to get cold because it's cold season. Well, I haven't had a cold in 30 some odd, maybe 40 years. I think it must be 40 years because I used to say 30 all the time, and then I realized that I was actually getting older. So more years. But I just don't get them. So and that's kind of in the way that we language things. Oh, I'm getting older, my bones ache, or I'm getting older, or my hearing's better. I'm getting, well, I'm calling this forward. I'm declaring and I'm saying, hey, it's cold season. I'm going to get a cold. Look at that. You got a cold, or a summer cold, because this is a new thing. You got to sell cold remedies. Well, hey, we can't just have one hemisphere and the other hemisphere. So we got winter some of the time. We better have it going, so when it's winter one way and summer the other way, that we're going to have a summer cold. That's a new thing, because we're not pushing enough pills. Anyway, so that's from the linear. And then, there's lots of other ways you can think. So that's from the linear. From the more expansive, well, I'd love to do this, but I can't. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. I'm not, thin enough. I'm not heavy enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough, right? I'm not experienced enough. I'm not confident enough, all that kind of stuff. And yet we're having these ideas, we're having these creative thoughts because all of we is, tapping on our shoulder and saying, hey, we could play with this. And so you have the thought and you go to play with it and think, oh, well, I'm not, this is how it is. I can't do this because I don't know how to do that yet, or this, that, the other thing. And so we pull our in-tuneness and our multidimensionalness out of it, out of that and back into the linear. So wouldn't it be cool if you had a little game that could take you could play with it for 2 minutes or spend different moments of the day, longer periods throughout the day, or just literally, 5-10 seconds. And the game itself would do a lot for you, but just the act of initiating the game would be a pause us, interrupt us. So you can't get winding up on summertime, I'm going to get a summer cold because, I'm in the northern hemisphere and I got to get a summer cold, that right. Or if you're in the multidimensional thing and you have this creative idea, and then all these other things come through that, block that up. So that's how the game got here.
Okay, how does that relate to the body? I mean, I'm sorry, I was.
Well, because
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I miss that part?
Yes, because you have several bodies and they're talking and communicating with you all the time.
Well, yeah.
And so when if you play the game of
paying attention.
Yeah, of noticing, turn to my shoulder, like right now I'm describing this. A little while ago, I had just finished work and my shoulder was like,
Right.
I didn't take a moment to play the game, but in describing this game, I haven't changed anything. I haven't taken a shower. I haven't, done some stretching, haven't relaxed anything. And all of a sudden my shoulder is
just fine.
Absolutely happy as a clam.
Yeah.
So in other words, you don't really have to know the why of it. Is that what part of what I'm?
Yeah, it's not the why. The why. So here for one example,
Because part of this whole deal. Well, when we were talking about that, usually I look at my body, especially when I'm talking about pain, as trying to alert me to something.
Well, it's a conversation, and I'm not just talking about this body. I'm talking about the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body. You can do them separately.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I went strictly with physical, is why I asked the question, where does the body come? Because that's I know what you mean, but you're speaking to all the bodies.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was only thinking physical, is all I'm saying.
Okay, well, if you want to cut all the other bodies out, that's okay.
No, I don't want to cut any of the other bodies out. I was just equating it only to the physical body at first, based on the title. So perhaps we should change it to listen to your bodies.
Well, okay, they might not all be talking, or you could say listen to your body, and then maybe there's a line. So is it, or maybe they listen to your line body, because it could be your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, your electromagnetic body.
Yeah.
So I agree. This is a super, super good conversation, because this is something that I have been practicing. And the more that I practice this, the better connected I am, and the more access I have to my own infinite wisdom. And it's very practical because, for instance, I also have the neck pain, and it's across my lower back, sort of into my shoulder, and it's sort of in front too as well. It's a bit of my chest cavity, maybe we'll call it. And it felt here at first, and I had to tap and expand, and now we're out to here with it. So both in front and in back. And I started to communicate with my body because I knew, it was valuable, it's data, and it was telling me something very important because it was painful. So, very important. And when I tuned in, I realized that my fascia was doing this a little bit, sort of hanging on for dear life. And when I began to communicate with it, I realized that I'm clenching. I'm noticing that the energy is moving very differently within my physical body now. And I can almost catch myself being in panic about it. And what I mean by that is my body is like in fight or flight. I'm just sort of like, I realize I'm actively clenching every muscle in my body in this moment now. But that's a really good thing, because I was doing it very subconsciously before, and at least now I'm conscious of it. So that's the first thing, to be conscious of it in the now moment, because now is where I have the power to act on it. So now I can breathe into it and speak with my fascia and ask it to release. And usually in the releasing, I can kind of even see, sense, or feel something that I might have been in resistance to, that might have created a little flinching in the first place. And just noticing it and sort of allowing it to be releases it. And then I feel free of it. And for me, I like to tune in with my body and say, please show me proper alignment and adjustment. And I just stand in an anatomical position, meaning my arms and my feet are facing forward. I can't. Anyway, you just stand there like this. And then I allow the body to go into its own natural alignment, and I sort of go with it. And what I notice is chi opening up. I'll notice like a hip adjustment will get things flowing in such a way that suddenly it relieves something in my back, and I'll go all the way up to my neck even, and I my body wants to move in ways that allow the natural chi energy just to flow and to sort of feed and nourish my body in ways that when I'm conscious and I'm all like this, I don't get to experience. So it's missing out on a lot to not tune into my body and gather all the data that's there and begin to work with it. So this is a super important conversation. So I love your game. This is really, really good.
And you brought up some great points. Part of what, speaking to part of Sheila's question. So yes, it's your physical body, but the physical body isn't like the first big thing, and then all the other things are ancillary. If that was the case at all, it would be flipped. The physical body would be last because it's the out there sort of a thing, and all the other bodies would be first because, as you talked about, Lisa, where the chi coming in, your body wants to relate to that, your body wants to move it a certain way. Well, that's energetic, so that's no formness to some extent. And the blocking, the holding, the resisting, or the negating, or kind of partitioning off into your physical body is now end resulting in something, or possibly. So that's just one thing I wanted to say. That the other thing that kind of came in is that in delicious cosmic humor, this game has a linear selling point for people to pay enough attention to perhaps decide about wanting to play with it first, because if something hurts, it can alleviate that. It can dematerialize it. It can, if it's chronic, it can make it go away. Because actually you're focusing on it and you can do it. You're the one who's the magician and waving the magic wand. So that's kind of the hook, the linear marketing hook on the game. The surprise inside of the game is that as you get in the flow of talking to any and all of your bodies, right? And being, in connection with, in conversation with, then you are now present to realize that when you were, in that closet, you're in the physical body closet looking around, oh yeah, I see this, oh yeah, that, but no wonder that hurts. Wow, and then you go, wow, what is that? That's my super costume, my superpower I've been looking for. Because now you're communicating and you can, all this stuff is right there. But we're not noticing. We're not paying any attention. We're off running on this way, or we're stuck on this, or we're, nothing's happened yet, or God, I can't do anything because, this hurts, or whatever it is. And so the cosmic humor is that, hey, in communicating and all this, this is the how-to really come into full-throated conversation, coherence with all of you, and all of the all. And then you can have tangible magic start to be all around you.
Well, first of all, oh my God, that sun is just too much. Oh, you both have it.
Well, no, I have a light.
Pulsing. Yeah.
That's the sun.
Yeah. But so there's a reason that I went with body first and didn't even think about the other bodies, partly because, I know those other bodies exist. I don't quite grok them all the way. And in terms of this game, I know they're important emotions, inner child, all of these things that are connected to them. I don't.
When you, Sheila, when
Yes.
you focus on the attention there, remember I told you I can feel, because I use a body scan with my attention, and I focused on feeling my body, that now I can feel and identify my light body, right? I can feel it. and it's really, really strong, and I connect with it more and more. And it's just about being consciously aware of it. And it's like by default, we're aware of our physical bodies because it's tangible. It's the most physical. But the rest of it, even subtle as it is just as important. And when you begin to move your focus there, you have access to so much more data, because my energetic body is telling me quite a story that I would miss out on if I weren't in tune to it and noticing it and identifying with it, like embodying it, merging with it. Does that make sense?
Well, okay. So when you
Let me
use,
just stop you for 1 second, because you know how your phone goes off and does that thing to highlight stuff, right, Sheila?
Yes.
yeah,
So the sun, if you watched, when it wants to highlight things, it begins pulsing again. So a minute ago, when Lisa was talking, it was just quiet, and then she was highlighting something, and it started to go like. So I just wanted to bring. If some people have noticed it right away, but some people haven't noticed yet. But it's.
yeah, probably because I was watching Lisa. I didn't notice it at all. That's something I do is I really do look at you guys when you're speaking. It might not look like I'm looking at you, but I promise I'm looking at you. So see, I guess that's why I started out. Well, so wait a minute. Let me just say, Lisa, that or ask you actually. So when you're using the term light body, you are using that term interchangeable with your energetic body, and your energetic body actually for you, does it incorporate your, because I guess I get a little confused between, I know the physical body is separate, the pain body is part of the physical body and yet separate as well, is it not, or no? First of all, let me ask that question. Anybody?
Yeah, I feel bodies as membranes, so they're very close together, and it's very subtle, and that they overlap each other and like each other, and that's just how I grok it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm asking the question, because so you're kind of using the term light body to encompass all of your energetic bodies. Is that correct or no?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, where it's more energy and light molecules and crystalline in nature, and it's a very high frequency. It's very cohesive. It's uber strong. It's got different qualities than like my physical body. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, yes. I just wanted to make sure that was, because I can get that they would all, for me that just felt like a container word for all of the different energetic bodies, whether it be energetic body or light body, holding all the different ones that I don't know. I guess that's how I'm trying to make sense of it. That's what it feels like to me. Anyway, okay, I had to ask that question. I can't be the
Well,
only
and I'm trying to, if there's a pain body at all that I have, what I'm trying to do is really merge with it, sort of allow it to dissipate so that it isn't something that activates on its own and wants to play out dramas. So what I'm trying to do is really integrate my body. I have a lot of cellular memory.
Okay, hold up. You got to hold up and say, you got to repeat all that, because we only got like every other half a word.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. I'm sorry. The internet.
Start from, I don't think you have to activate the pain body and then go on.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to do is integrate it to heal it and to make it just part of the rest of the subtle body. And that is through loving my trauma, if you will, just loving everything about me. And so what I'm noticing is a lot of times for me, pain will contain cellular memory of something, and I've clinched around it sort of, and I'm holding it in place. And that can sometimes activate a drama that unconsciously will play out. And so what I'm trying to do is heal all of those, just love all of those parts of me that might be sort of stymied in time due to trauma. And pain is a good indicator to me that I've reached such a place. So that's why I think this communication that we're talking about today is so important, because it's data. And I can see it for what it is and love it and love me and release it. And what I'm noticing is as those things dissolve, my light body becomes stronger and more cohesive, and my physical body is deflating, as it turns out. It's rather gelatinous an event at the moment, but it's really, really exciting, because the more that I really be in cohesion with my light body, the more limitless I'm actually feeling. And I'm noticing that I'm behaving in a limitless fashion because I'm connecting with that portion of me in such a strong fashion. And so it helps to dissolve more of the gelatinous and strengthen more of the unlimited. And it's bringing so much joy and peace, that integration that I'm doing within my own cells of, trauma that I might be holding, and really energizing the limitless portion of me that I know I am, just actively identifying with that, is changing everything around me in ways that I did not anticipate. Because suddenly I see beauty and perfection in absolutely everything, without anything having to change, which has been quite magical. And I really believe that that is a part and parcel of really coming to peace and to terms with my physical body. It's a part of loving all of me. A linear, gelatinous part of me that I never allowed myself to love, I am now embracing. And the more that I do that, the more I feel like
Stop. So Lisa, are you back?
No, I think we're going to lose her, actually.
Yeah. Hang on. Okay, say something.
Her picture's still.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So great. So start with the more I focus on that, the more that's your where you broke off. Okay. Well, it was worth a shot. There we go.
Okay, so we'll try it one more time. So the more you focus on, the more you... What? The more you left us hanging. Nope, still not. Nope. We can't even get your picture now. We can't even get you on camera, apparently.
I know.
Are you leaving us? No. There you go.
I know, because I'm on fire.
Rein it in, girl.
The energy is moving like, I know. I'm trying. Woo!
Okay, so the more you integrate, the more you what? The more you integrate, the more you
okay, so And the more that I focus on integrating with that part of me, the more I am noticing the beauty in my life and in my world. I was shocked by how perfect everything is and how good everything feels. And then I go into this deep gratitude for how beautiful everything is, which reinforces way more to be grateful for. And it's just this self-fulfilling prophecy suddenly now of beauty, where it used to be I had a different trajectory sort of in motion by default. And now it is more toward, I am really feeling totally at peace with all that is right now. And it isn't any different than it was yesterday. I'm different. I'm okay with it. And the beauty that I see in it every day is growing. It's more and more beautiful to me. All of it, all parts of it. And I'm in resistance to none of it.
Because you're consciously flowing through and choosing your trajectory of flow as opposed to some things being done to you.
That's right. That's right. Nothing is being done to me. I'm in total control of all that happens to me. And the beautiful things that are happening to me, I am in awe of. I cannot get over how beautiful my life is right now in every way. I can honestly sit here and tell you today I have no problems. I have no problems.
Right. So you're just giving another beautiful example and illustration of the cosmic humor side of the game, right? Remember, so the linear marketing hook was, oh, something, I got an owie, so maybe I'll play this game for a moment while I'm waiting for the bus, or I got nothing else to do, or, you know, and that'll help that. And this is, you know, you gave one description, one small piece illustration of all that opens up because of it.
Yeah.
And it's only predicated upon the being who is allowing themselves to play.
Yes. Yep.
Which is cool, because you don't need somebody else, you don't have to wait for this, you know.
Nope. It's all happening right here and right now.
Right. Okay, so without you blowing up the electronic gear, we'll do a couple of quick little ones, and we'll start with the physical, the physical body that we think ends, you know, at the edge of our skin. It doesn't, but we'll start with that.
Okay.
So why don't you both just you can have your eyes open or closed and just tune in for a minute and relax, and let's do it this way. Think of starting at your feet, and you're you're in a boat ride, and you're flowing through the river of all that is your body, and just, you know, you're going upstream. And if you encounter something that feels weird or hurts or wants your attention or is saying, hey, psst, wants to have a conversation, stop at that point. And it'll be different for everybody. You know, some may have something that notices that it feels uncomfortable or painful. Some is just intriguing. Some is a little bit of a conversation, or, hey, how you doing? Whatever it is. Are both of you at one of those places?
Oh,
I am.
yeah, I'm finding I have a spot in my knee, and it's ouchy. It's like
okay, don't go into it yet. Don't go into it yet. It's waving his hand. Okay, cool. All right, and Sheila, you have a spot?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and is it intriguing? Is it wanting a conversation? Is it painful? Is it unusual? Is it, what is it? Just to give us an overall outer view sense of that.
Yes, it's been painful.
Okay. All right. So then go, not think back into that space, but feel, there's a difference if you can, back into that space. And just, I'm going to give you a kind of a rapid fire of placeholder sensing. So has it been doing this all day? Has it been doing it for a while? Is it, do you notice, or even if you don't know this particular thing, do you notice that it acts up more in relation to something else? Does it dissipate or ease off or totally disappear in relationship to some other thing? And is there some, so you kind of hold those. Do you want me to stop and we'll play there, or do you want me to go on the next one?
Well, what's so funny is the minute I started concentrating, it went away. I mean, I was just where I was, I guess I was, you know, just
I could
sitting there
answer
thinking.
questions.
Say what now?
I could answer those questions for mine because I've been having this thing for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, I've noticed it off and on. I don't know what brings it on. I haven't pinpointed it.
But there's a correlation. So something is going on in some of the other bodies. We'll just say something, you know, something goes on and it flares up, and then something else goes on and it comes down, or is just the absence of the first something?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't really know.
Okay.
I just know it comes and goes. I haven't noticed what makes it go.
Yeah. So that we don't need to grab those yet, but just to kind of, so we're learning the game. You guys play, each being plays the game, you know, with themselves, but this is a way to kind of how to play the game, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right?
We're doing the equivalent of playing an open hand right now.
Of what?
Playing an open hand. I'm sorry.
We're essentially
playing to myself.
Hand. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry, Lisa. I didn't mean to speak over you because there's a delay.
I know, I'm talking over everybody else.
So what was this?
Sorry, man.
What were the answers to some of the other questions? Lisa.
You mean about my knee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it's emotional. It's emotions.
Okay.
And but I haven't pinpointed exactly what it is yet.
Okay. And so
it occurs.
Okay. And so this,
and I'll call it acts up.
Okay.
Sorry.
And so this was specific. So when it waved its hand at you when you were, you know, on the river of scanning, was it?
Yes.
Can you describe that?
Yeah, it acted up immediately. Like, remember me when it hurts like this, and the little sharp pains I get, like right in my kneecap. And I'll think, what is that? And I don't like it. And so that happens. And I've not figured it out yet. So
okay.
So it raised its hand. Talk about me.
Yeah. Okay. So let's play with that just for a moment. And this, we're using this as a specific, but this can be whatever. So you notice that, and a common refrain is, what is that? I don't like that. Go away.
Right.
Well, okay. You're having a conversation. So if someone walks up to you and they're wanting to engage and you say, who are you? I don't like you. Go away. Well, that conversation really just put the kibosh right on that. And then you go, well, gosh, nobody wants to play with me. Well, yeah, because I'm rude. This really is This is part of this game, is for people to understand this really is a conversation. These are entities, these are beings, so you can extrapolate just for a moment, because this is a really good, I want to see my star brothers and sisters. Well, why? You're rude to yourself and all the bodies and all the magic and all the different otherworldly beings that are right here in your presence all the time. What makes you think that you're gonna do anything different? That's right. That's how you do anything is how you do everything.
Well, that's partly due to the fact that we don't value ourselves, but don't get me, that's a completely different thing. But I get what you're meaning there. Yeah, because I was sitting here feeling that, well, yeah, if the first thing we do at the sign of pain is, what are you doing here? Get the hell out. Yeah. And you don't even have to hold it like that. Just, oh my God, give me the Tylenol, right, or something like that. That's the same equivalent. Is that what I'm?
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be pain. Another reaction is you might feel something on your arm and you immediately go, bug. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you could go like that and blow the bug away, so you're not mushing the bug. But your receptors, and you were talking about this the other day, Sheila, your antenna, your receptors are wanting to elicit a conversation, or a fairy could have landed. So there's lots of ways we automatically assume something, and none of it has to do with any kind of connection or communication. Now you can decide, hey, I don't like this, and ask it to move, whatever it is, that's fine. But you're doing it. The difference is, back to what Lisa was talking about, you're doing it consciously. And
I feel what you're saying, because I started having pain in my shoulder as we were sitting here. And so, pursuant to this conversation, instead of and it's still there, I'm just allowing it and not wishing it away right away. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
sometimes
asking.
they'll say, what gift do you have for me? And it won't come right away sometimes, but all of a sudden I might get an insight and go, oh yeah, I asked for that. I was wondering what gift, because so much of what we experience, we do wish away as though it didn't happen, when really it had a tremendous gift for us. And if we can accept the gift and honor the experience for what it is, then we've done the work of integration.
Right. And oftentimes a very simple, although incredibly profound, is it's a placeholder. It's a marker for you. So when you're, for example, I'll use me for my shoulder. So I didn't set out to say, okay, hey, when I do something that I've asked myself not to do anymore, and I've asked me not to allow me to do that anymore, or to remind me, make my shoulder hurt like a rotten tooth. That was not right. But I can, kind of like I just described it, I can have that happen. And I can, in a moment it's gone, and in a moment it's back, based on where I'm putting my focus, or how I'm pulling my focus out of something, or I'm saying, well, wait a minute, that's there. And I'm feeling and sensing, okay, I didn't realize it, but there's some energy frequency in me that is not an energy frequency that I know. There is a frequency vibration within me that I have chosen to no longer allow to be within me. And when I get busy, or this or that, the other thing, and it creeps in, right? So for me, this is one example. It then has there's this thing. It could be in some of my other bodies as well. So at first you may be using the game to play to figure out what the heck that is. So hence the question, well, does it happen all the time, or do you notice that something, and you don't even have to spend a whole lot of what the something is, something when this is happening, is something happening? Do you think it's a correlation to that? And then if you change that, because because all of it is much bigger than just unless you just put your hand under a chainsaw and chainsaw off all your fingers, it goes beyond that. It has to do with a whole, and we've said it goes back to the analogy of people all the time when they're wanting to attract things, or law of attraction or other things, and you say you want to do this, and we're not conscious about it, we're not focusing on it, we're not noticing all the things that we've ordered this up and this up and this up, and so it's not here instantaneously, because actually you're not ready for it to be there instantaneously. So you leave and you go out to get Chinese because and the Italian delivery guy comes and knocks on the door, and they're like, well, there's nobody home. You can't take we do this as a collective, individualized, all the time, using that metaphor. So this is, again, within you is on the linear pain side, or intriguing sensation side, or it kind of vibrates like that, or it buzzes like that. You know what I mean? Is one way. But you can have it so that, I have things that within different parts of my bodies, my electromagnetic body will do something, because I've asked it if I can't hear it in an auditory way, or sense a displacement of air or something like that, right? I've asked myself on different of my body's levels to let me know if I'm out. Let's say I'm out on a photo safari and I'm with Keegan and I'm playing, and if I'm involved in whatever I'm involved in and I'm not noticing something else, and something that I think would be a cool encounter or fun to photograph or connect with or whatever is coming my way, please alert me. Now, it could be an ear hearing, my auditory hearing, and I can hear an eagle, or I can hear this, but if it's coming a ways off, so my body senses can't do it yet, I will actually get and I don't mean the actual animal bat, but it's like a bat signal I've set up will go off to tell me which direction to look, and a sense of what to look for. And it has nothing to do with my physical body. It has nothing to do with hearing or seeing. It doesn't even have to do with my energy read. It's almost like describing now, the nearest I can think of is that there's the field pulses, and that pulse touches my electromagnetic body, and I know what that pulse means, and so I focus for a minute, and then like telemetry on a radar or something like that, I can shift and wait and go, it's right, I can see it coming way off in the distance. Is that what I'm saying? So I've used this game to play with the whole range of different things, whether it's out having fun, or wanting to play with my superpowers, or anticipating something at work, or a whole range of things.
Wrong thing. I wanted to mute my thing so I could drink my water without interrupting you, and just blew the whole thing.
I was going to say, you guys are playing musical chairs. So anyways, that's one of the things that you can do with this.
I remember you telling us about that before, and I would be willing to bet that there's some of that I already do.
Yes.
Quite seamlessly. And I got a bit confused. Well, I think, and I would be willing to bet that a lot of folks do a lot of it quite seamlessly already as well.
I'd be willing to guarantee it. And this is the cosmic humor part of the game, right? Remember we had the linear with the pain on it, and that was the marketing that you'd play the game for a minute, take it, bother with your time. Oh, well, maybe I'll do this, right? So the cosmic humor part of the game is because our brains keep saying, well, I don't have superpowers, nothing happens, nothing special, blah, 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 all, blah, 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 all this stuff. So you do this and you go, oh, wow, I'll be damned. That's what and it's a confidence giver, or something that you used to talk a bit about here, that, it's a confirmation of something, or it's a validation of something, but it's not external. It's you, because you're the only one really ever that can ever give you that validation, that confidence, that, clear crystal signal of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah. It's a shame I got to convince myself that I'm as great as I actually am. But I think that's what we are all. It's time to realize that. And really, what you're speaking on here with this game is providing yourself proof of that.
Yes.
Yep.
You will have so much guaranteed. Unequivocal guarantee. You will have if you're honest with yourself. You don't need to be honest, just yourself. That's the only person that matters. You're honest with yourself, and you notice, and you flow, and you pay attention. And remember, I started at the very beginning of the conversation saying you could do this for a few seconds here or there. You could actually play. You could have, if you're going for a walk today, or you're this is a day, half a day where you don't have to do anything. So you're going to just kind of, at first, do nothing. Just sit and do nothing because you don't feel like doing anything. And so you can play this game in all sorts of ways. And all of a sudden, you're going to have all of these, because a big thing for a lot of people right now is cue proofs. Well, you can have all of these things of is this real, or do I have this, or all your I can'ts or whatever will get canceled right away, because you're getting all sorts of really clear, in the moment, tangible, demonstrable, unequivocal, undeniable things coming to you. Now, it's free will choice, so if you continue to then choose to keep blowing them off, that's entirely up to you. And if that's what you want to do, because at that moment that works for you, then that's what you want to do, and that's the thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, again, for me, this too comes under the heading of, we talked about that the other day, I think, and forgive me, I don't know if it was on camera or not, because but a lot of my issue is repetition. Remembering to be conscious in a different sort of way. Okay, so I'm not gonna, since I have grokked finally some of the things about myself, that seamless connection, very seamless connection on certain things, I'm not as hard on myself about some of these other things, but there are certain specific ways of being conscious that I just don't, out of sheer not having ever done that before, thinking about things in that manner. So for me now, it's more of getting into a habitual repetition of being conscious. And I know that sounds, maybe odd, or
what I heard you say, part of what I will repeat back to you to see if this makes sense, is that it in some aspects, some areas, some focuses, it never occurred to you that it would look like that, or you could do that, or this was data coming in, or whatever. It just was what was happening, and it was so innate to you, right? That
Yes.
And if you look at the title,
Yeah. Yes.
the title.
Yes.
Oh, funny how
Yes.
that works.
No, you're exactly correct. But there are other things that I wish to improve my focus and attention
Yeah, well, this
on.
is a good way to do that because
Right.
all of you is having the conversation and may just choose different of your bodies to start, the conversation opener, or to flag you down, or, to get your attention, or whatever it is. And then as you're just meeting it and becoming subject to one another and having that connection, coming into the coherence and letting that soft, just play, just joyful, just, there's no agenda, there's no attachment, there's no, I want to figure out how to do, none of that. It's just, and in that moment, you'll hear something, you'll sense something, you'll notice something, you'll feel something, you'll see with your eyes, you'll see, it'll happen in all different ways. And a conversation starts, and then, like this wonderful virtuoso that you are, you start playing the instrument of all of your bodies, and you're doing this whole really cool riff that's going, from your physical to your electromagnetic to the emotional to the frequencies, all these kinds of things, and you're now pulling in different parts of your multidimensionalness in the linear tangible thing, and you're going, wow. I mean, the energy in my hands right now is off the charts buzzing, and because this is how we can do this. And you can work and do this too. You can do this at work. You can do this for just 30 seconds. You can spend a minute or two. You can take a playing with this, listening to your body and playing in your innate knowledge, right? For instead of a coffee break or a cigarette break or a bathroom break, you can call it that if you feel you need to hide behind that moniker for work or something else, but go and do this. Invest in yourself to do this.
Okay, now we're going to lose BZ.
No, because she's on a roll.
Yeah, I know, right?
Back.
Those energy wanging hands. I wanted to say too that I'm glad you brought up the energy wanging in your hands. I was sitting here a little earlier and my lips are buzzed. They're like, they're just very humming. This is a very resonant conversation that we're having here.
So that's what the game is. Listen to your body, and if Sheila wanted bodies, okay, but start with one body at a time usually, although it could be the whole, like I just talked about, the whole instrument, which is all of you, and activate your innate knowledge.
Yeah, it's really, for me, the word autopilot keeps coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've done a lot, is just being on autopilot rather than being present in the now. Means communicating and being open to communicating with everything and in every moment.
Mm-hmm.
Even those little teeny things that just pop up like pain, just communicating with it. What are you trying to show me? What is this about? And you're right, it doesn't take long. Well, I always go to pain because I've had a lot of pain in my body, in my physical body. So that's why, one of the reasons I always, it's again, it's a bit of a habit. And that is too why I immediately, when you stated the name of the game. And so I think a lot of folks do that. That's why I also wanted you guys to talk about the other. Now, maybe there's lots of other folks that, because, I've not done hardly any of the, book studying on the new age stuff. So it's not like I got all the lingo down, but I did know that there are different bodies that people refer to.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and as long as you're not attached to that, I have this and I have that, feel it, because they're your bodies. So you don't need a book.
Right.
You're there.
Well, and well, that's why I like your idea of, talking to it, communicating with it, because you will get answers. I do.
Right. The other thing, this goes back to, the storm is here within and without, and something we alluded to in that, where, a lot of beings, what they want, they want the storm to come here and take it all down and the new stuff. Well, this is part of the new stuff. You are the new stuff.
Yeah.
And you got to learn how to use all the tools that you got right here, all the cool gadgets and gizmos, and this costume goes on this superpower, and this costume goes, so y'all got to get rid of the program in you. Because that's the beginning, the middle, the end, the sum total, the whole shebang, the creation of everything, and the playing with everything. It's right here. It's an inside job.
So when I did remember I said that my shoulder started hurting. I tuned into that, and what I got was that I was feeling your shoulder pain. Is it your right shoulder?
Yes.
Yep, I knew it. I was feeling your shoulder pain. That's what I was told, and that's what I'm going with, because I haven't fallen on my shoulder.
Right.
Interesting.
So here's another it doesn't quite go there yet, but it's one of the things in the game. So in that, so many things, want to raise their, if it's a hand, whatever it is, right? To get your attention, because you have so many abilities, right? We all do. And we all have a lot of the same ones, very similar ones, completely, totally different ones. Yep, I got Sheila's, and Beezy's has, a horse sticking out of it this way, and the rest is the same, so there's a whole range. And even if you say, well, they look exactly the same, it's, rectangle and whatever, but it's tuned to me, uniquely to me, and Sheila's is tuned uniquely to, and Lisa, and so on and so forth. And so when you wield it, it works for you. Now, there may be a thing that I can come into syncopation with, I can come into resonance with, I can come into a field with it if I need to use that, and picked up yours, but in that moment I have transferred it to mine. If it was like a tangible thing, right? Mm-hmm. So the funny thing that was a lead into is that where you texted a thought that you had, and I got the text, you never sent the text. And after I read it and thought, well, that's interesting, and actually checked to see, who it was to and from, because it was 3 people in the text, and I replied to another window, which was physically there, but already it disappeared. So all of these things are happening all of the time. And are we willing, and time is just a euphemism, but are we willing to give our time, our focus, our attention to notice and get off of autopilot?
Yeah, well, that's just it. For some of what I would like to experience, it requires more presence more often.
Yep.
On a regular discipline basis. And I have not, for whatever those reasons are.
Yeah, it was funny. I just had the memory. I hadn't thought about it in a long time, but in my book, one of the chapters is on being autopilot, and I would go places and workshop or whatever, and that would be, whoever was holding it could pick, and that was one of the most often picked ones, because most people didn't really get what that was, and we'd play with that a bit, and people were really gobsmacked at how, this sounds kind of funny, but intentionally they were on autopilot without being conscious of it at all. So it's a very common wide thing that for various reasons, intentional from the false construct and all that kind of stuff, that it's so pervasive.
Well, I really view it for me as one of the largest programming issues that I have. You know, so that's why I like this game. You can't be on autopilot and play this game because that doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would end this game by saying that, and I'll pull in some linear euphemisms and verbiage, but we're in the big leagues now, and a lot is being held for us and open for us and served up for us and made of being availed for us. We're the ones who are doing that for us, and the lag time for the most part has disappeared in between that gap of what you're calling forth, whether you like it or don't, and that's part of paying attention, and yes, every it's an individual pace and program. I mean, as like, if you look at a play, the program or the playbill as a program of, okay, this starts and then there's act one, so the program that we initiated. But now we're not in the shirt, and has not been for a while, but now it's becoming really obvious, and in some cases painfully obvious. We're not driving the boat. We're driving the boat. Soul is driving the boat. So.
Yes, I agree with that statement as my fascist. Doing, yes, that's right. She's right. She's telling the truth. Yeah, I felt that right in my body. As I resemble that remark. Yeah. Wow. Well, BZ, I really like this one. So it's a bit of a long title for a game. I don't know that Milton Bradley will be knocking on our doors anytime soon, but I love this. I love this. Well, did either one of you want to add anything to this one? Oh, well, Lisa's frozen again. I bet she was going to add something too.
Okay, go ahead. Let's try it again now, Lisa.
No, I was just going to say thank you. It was a beautiful conversation. My body is happy.
Well, that's cool. All right. Well, we will have ways for you to get in touch with Lisa and with BZ in the show more section of this video, as always. And I would love it if you would, hey, what are you finding when you're, are you going to take a few minutes to play with this game? What do you find? You have some things to add, some suggestions that you'd like to, that worked for you when you were playing the game. And what did you find when you play the game? I'd love to hear if folks are playing the game. It's something you want to share. ConsciousConversationCentral@gmail.com. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. And if you want to know when I upload videos, just click that notification bell.
Yeah, and let us know what the part of the closet with all the costumes for the superpowers looks like.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you both so much. Till next time.
Thank you.